Hey guys, I've been waiting on this for a bit of a while, but today's the day I'm going to be doing my Premier League predictions video. What I think's going to happen in the Premier League this season. Yeah, if I don't have, if you guys hate my predictions, I understand because I'm probably going to do terrible at this. But yeah, let's start from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to start off 20th. I think Norwich are going to finish 20th. I know they've made a lot of big signings. I think Milik Rashica, Billy Gilmore, um, what's another player? Brandon Williams, I think just now, and a few other signings. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I just don't. They've already lost, I think, their opening 3 games. So yeah, that's why I'm putting them in dead last, unfortunately. So yeah, let's move on to 19th. 19th, I'm going to have Southampton, and it's because they sold Danny Ings to Aston Villa. Yeah, I really think that, Southampton could not, be making, maybe a dumber decision. Well, it's not really dumb. I know they wanted the cash. They have made it fine by signing Adam Armstrong from Blackburn Rovers. I mean, it's not the worst signing. He did really good at Blackburn, but is it enough? I don't think so. I just don't think it's enough. I think they're going down. They've drawn 2 games and lost one of their games. So yeah, putting him in 19th. Yeah, 18th. I'm putting Newcastle. Now I can see either Watford, Crystal Palace, Burnley, or Brentford, which are the next coming up, could be also in this position. I put Newcastle because their situation is terrible right now. They literally have they've had such a bad window. A bunch of players are probably going to be out the door. I think they might get relegated, and they've lost their 2 of their games, and they drew against Southampton today. Yeah, today. So yeah, I could see them. I could see them getting relegated. I don't think they have a good enough squad. And I know they have Callum Hudson-Odoi. I know they have Saint Maximan. I know they have Callum Wilson, who have been doing pretty good. But the only signing they've made is Joe Willock. He did amazing last season on loan there. But I don't know. They haven't really done much, and I just don't think their squad is enough. I think they could finish in relegation, but like I said, the upcoming teams could also finish in that 18th spot. So yeah, let's keep on going. 17th, I put Watford, and I think they could maybe just avoid relegation, but I could still see them getting relegated. They won against Aston Villa on opening day, but they lost to Brighton, and they play Tottenham tomorrow. And then they also got Wolves, and then Norwich, and then Newcastle. Their their team is actually pretty good, but can it stay up? See, I think they could stay up, but at the same time they could also go down. They've signed Danny Rose. They've signed Emran Luza. They've signed Emil Dennis, Joshua King, and also I think Ashley Fletcher. Most of those were free signings though. Danny Rose, Josh King, um, Josh King, Ashley Fletcher were and they've also signed Juraj Kutcha, I think that's how you say it. Most of those were free signings, but they did sign Imran Luza for 9 million. They got actually I'm just seeing this now. They signed Ozan Tufan on a confirmed, I think it was a loan deal. Let me check. Yeah, it's a loan deal from Fenerbahce, and they also have Ismail Sarr, who they kept last season, and they also got this season Etebo from Stoke City on a loan too. They have a decent squad. I still think I could still see them getting relegated. But yeah, like, we'll have to see. 16th, I put Crystal Palace. Yeah, they've lost their opening 2 games. They did, wait, actually, no. They lost their opening game, and then they tied to Brentford. And then they tied to West Ham. Conor Gallagher got a double to save Crystal Palace. Like, fair play to him, but I can still see them getting relegated. Because, like, Patrick Vieira, he's coached at Nice, and he did pretty bad there. I remember he lost, Nice lost 6-2 in the Europa League to Leverkusen. So, yeah, I could see them getting relegated, and I have one of the oldest squads in the Premier League. I think the oldest, yeah. So, yeah, I could see them getting relegated. They don't have Eze or Michael Olise, so, yeah. I could see them getting relegated, but again, we'll have to see. 15-5 Burnley. Now, it was either between Burnley and Brentford for this spot. I've put Burnley because they really, I could see them getting relegated. I think they actually might even be in like 17th or 16th, or even in 18th, because they've had horrendous form, honestly. Like, they finished 17th last season and had a pretty bad back into the season. On the final day, they lost to relegated Sheffield. They lost 4-0 to Leeds. Their last it was a really bad end to the season, and they've already had a bad start. They lost to Brighton on opening day, and they lost to Liverpool, and then tomorrow they got Leeds at home. Can they stay up? I think maybe just only. But they have like the thinnest squad in the Premier League. They don't have a lot of players. And like they did sign, I think, Wayne Hennessy this season on like a free. But Wayne Hennessy is not going to do much for them. Like they have Nick Pope, who's a definitely good goalie. He was out though most. They also signed Nathan Collins. Actually, I'm just remembering this now, from Stoke City for $12 million. But other than that, I mean, like, I don't think they're gonna. I like this is another one. I don't think they could stay up because they don't have squad depth. Like, and they still have some good players like Tarkowski, Pope, Chris Wood, but I don't think they're gonna stay up because I just don't think they have a good enough. Like, I don't think they have really enough squad depth, and I think they also have kind of an old squad. So yeah, that's why I think they could get relegated. So yeah, 14th, I have Brentford. They've had a really good start to the season. They haven't lost a game, and they haven't been in the Premier League since 1947. So yeah, and like I'm a bit of a Brentford fan. So yeah, I might be putting them, and like it might just because I'm a Brentford fan why I'm doing this. But they won their opening game to Arsenal 2-0. And they also drew to Crystal Palace 0-0, and they drew today to Aston Villa in a 1-1 match where Ivan Toney got his first goal in the Premier League. So yeah, and they've made some good signings. They signed Christopher Adger from Celtic. They've signed Yone Wissa from Lorient. And they've also, who's the last signing? And now they signed one more player. They've also signed Frank Onyeka from Midtjylland. So yeah, like they made some pretty good signings, free signings. So yeah, I think they're also about to sign um uh um Spanish goalkeeper Alvaro from Huesca, and they've got him on a loan, so I think he's also going to come in. But yeah, I'm putting them just 14th just because I kind of do like them a bit. But yeah, I still could see them finishing in that, and like even maybe in relegation, and maybe around that 15th to 17th. But yeah, let's keep on going. 13th, I put Brighton. Like they could also be down there. I think they also could be, but they've had a really good start. They won against Brighton. They won against Watford. They did lose to Everton though today, and they lost 2-0 to Everton. They've had a good start. Like Can they stay up? I do think so. Will they just stay up? I do think so. But only just. Again, I can see them finishing 16th. They finished 16th last season, by the way. So yeah, like they didn't have that good of a last season. They didn't really do that well. But they've had a good start to the season, which is why I'm going to put them in 13th. So yeah, I think 13th is going to be where they're at. 12th now. I think this could be in 9th maybe, but I think I'm just going to put them in 12th. Wolves is a team. They've had a bad start to the season. They've lost their opening 2 games to Leicester and Tottenham, 2-1-0 games. They won in the cup in the FL Cup a few days ago against Nottingham Forest. They play United next. So yeah, they've had a really hard start, but then they play Watford, Brentford, and Southampton. So like maybe they could stay up. I think they're definitely gonna stay up. It's just finishing in Europa League or anything around there. I just don't think so. 12th, they could maybe finish in 10th or 11th or even 9th maybe, but I don't know. I just don't think so. So yeah, 12th for them. So yeah, 11th is gonna be Leeds United. They finished 9th last season, but they haven't really another team that hasn't really had the best start to a season. In the opening day, they lost 5-1 to Man United away from home. They don't really have. They didn't really have a great start, and they also drew to Everton, where Rafinha scored 3 times against Everton since he's been there. So yeah, like they have Burnley tomorrow, and then Liverpool, and then Newcastle. I think they could finish in 10th, maybe even 9th again, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah, 11th for Leeds. 10th, yeah, this might be a bit controversial, but I'm putting Arsenal 10th. Yeah, I'm putting Arsenal 10th. They've had a horrendous start to the season. A horrendous one. Maybe like the worst start in their history, but losing to Brentford on opening day 2-0. Losing to Chelsea 2-0. Losing to Man City 5-0. The only good game they've had is winning against West Brom 6-0 in the cup a few days ago. But Arsenal, really, like it's actually horrendous their form. How bad they've been doing. It's like paying almost 60 million for Ben White. For Ben White, I mean Ben White's a good player, but I don't think he's that good. They've signed Odegaard, which was a really good signing, but the other signings, Ben White paying 50 million, like 55 million for a player for a player whose team finished 16th. I know he's good potential, I think, but like that's really overpaying. And then they also signed Nuno Tavares from Benfica, also Albert Sambi Lokonga from and Anderlecht and Belgium. So yeah, like 10th, and they could even do it worse. I can see them finishing 12th, maybe lower. But I think 10th is where they're going to be. 9th, I'm putting Aston Villa there. I think Aston Villa are going to finish 9th. They've made some really good signings. They've signed Leon Bailey. They've signed Danny Ings. They've signed Ashley Young, Emi Buendia. I think Axel Tuanzebe too. But they've sold their captain Jack Grealish to Man City for 117 million. Yeah, but and they lost their opening day of the season to Watford, newly promoted Watford. They also drew to Brentford today, and they won against Newcastle in their last match, the match before Brentford. And then they played Chelsea, Everton, and Man United. I could see them maybe finishing ninth, maybe even eighth, or I can see them finishing in 10th or 11th or 12th. But I think I'm just gonna put them ninth. It's close between Arsenal and Aston Villa for that ninth spot, but I think Aston Villa are gonna finish ninth. Eighth, eighth. Everton. I think Everton they've had a really good start to the season. They obviously Carlo Ancelotti went to Real Madrid and they replaced him with Rafa Benitez, former Liverpool manager. And they've had a good start. They won against Everton, almost won against Leeds, tied 2-2, and today they won against Brighton. And then they have Burnley, Aston Villa, and Norwich. So they have a pretty easy start to the season. But if they want to try and challenge for Europa League or even Champions League, they're gonna have to up their game. They have some good players, obviously, like James, Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, like Alan Digne. But is it enough to get Europa League? Is it is it enough though? Maybe if they could win the FA Cup and get into Europa League that way, but I think they're just gonna miss out, maybe just because they're really close. I just don't think they're close enough. But they could finish in sixth, and they could finish in seventh or even above. So yeah, don't count out Everton. So yeah, seventh I'm gonna put West Ham. It's like one of their they finish in Europa League last season, finishing in sixth place. Honestly, congratulations, because it's I think it's one of their first times competing in Europa League. And yeah, they've had a very decent start to the season. Won against West Ham 4-2. They beat Leicester City 4-1, and then they got unlucky drawing against Crystal Palace today. They play their first Europa League match on September 16th against Dynamo Zagreb. They have Dynamo Zagreb, Rapid Wien, and Genk in their group. So yeah, they have a pretty easy group that they should go through. I think they could finish in sixth again. They could. I'm gonna put them in seventh because I don't know. They go on a run to Champions League. They almost did last season, but I think I'm just gonna keep them in seventh. So yeah, seventh it is. Sixth is gonna be Spurs. They've made some good signings. They signed Christian Romero for $55 million. They signed Brian Hill for a swap deal with Eric Lamela, which I think was extraordinary business. They've also signed Galini as a backup keeper, I think, on a loan with option to buy for $15 million. And I think that was all their signings this season. But yeah, they've had a really good start, and they've had a really good transfer window. They won against Man City on opening day, and then won against Wolves, and then they're playing Watford tomorrow, and then Tottenham, and then Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal. So yeah, they've had a strong start. I could see them finishing in fifth, maybe even Champions League. But I just think Champions League is just going too far. I think all the big teams have been upping their game, like Chelsea, Man United, and Man City. I just think sixth is where they're gonna be. So yeah, here we go. Now fifth. Fifth, I'm gonna put Leicester. They were so close last season, Champions League. Missed out on final day, I think. Yeah, and then they've had an okay start to the season. Won against Wolves, lost against West Ham, and then won against Norwich today. So yeah, they've had a pretty decent start. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that well. So yeah, fifth is just where they're gonna be. Fourth is fourth. I'm gonna put Liverpool. I just think Liverpool, they haven't really made any decent, like, they haven't really made many major signings like the rest of the big three teams. They've signed Ibrahim Konate. I think that's actually the only player they've signed. Yeah, it's the only player they've signed. They also have an kind of like they're starting to have an aging squad. Their attack, I think, are all going into their 30s. Like Van Dijk and Alisson, I think, are soon going to be in their 30s. Basically, like, maybe their golden generation is kind of coming to an end, but don't count them off. They have a really good squad. I can see them finishing in third, maybe even second, but yeah, I just don't think they're going to win the league like they did. They could win the Champions League, you never know. And like they've also got Diogo Jota, who's done excellent since he's joined them. So yeah, I think fourth, maybe third though. Third, it's gonna be Manchester United. Crazy news has been going off Manchester United. Varane, they've signed Varane. They've signed Sancho, and now apparently they've just signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, what? They actually have an insane squad now. I think I think they're gonna finish third. I can see them finishing first or second. I can see them winning the league. I actually can. And yeah, so I think third, but I can definitely see them finishing in second or even first because they've signed some mega players like Varane, like Sancho, like Ronaldo. So yeah. Second, now it's between Chelsea and Man City. I'm gonna put in second, Man City. Yeah, I put Man City in second. They lost their opening game to Tottenham, which is not a good sign. And then they won their next two games 5-0. They beat Norwich 5-0 and they also beat Arsenal 5-0. So yeah, like I can see them maybe doing a bit better. I can see them winning the league. I also think Chelsea could also win the league. It's really close between them two. I just put Man City in second. And first, it's going to be Chelsea. I put Chelsea first because they have had a mega window. They won their first game against Crystal Palace. They won their second game against Arsenal, and they drew today against Liverpool, at Anfield with 10 men. So yeah, and their Champions League group, it's not that tough. They got Zenit, they got Juventus, and they got Malmo. So yeah, it's not like that hard of a group, but yeah. Okay, guys, that's my Premier League predictions. I'm probably just gonna do a reacting video on this, and then like I'm probably gonna get none wrong, but yeah. If you guys like the video, then leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.